All right, we are back with another round of Grand Arena. I missed recording the first battle on offense, but you guys didn't miss anything much. I was paired up with AK-89, and it was a mass roster mismatch. And AK-89 did not have Darth Revan or Malik, and overall, in general, the mods also were a little weaker. So they did not attempt any of my teams at all, and I ended up clearing the board. So nothing too interesting out there. So you guys didn't miss much. My second Grand Arena, which is this one, I'm facing Tina Nurtus. Now, Tina Nurtus also does not have Darth Malik or Darth Revan, and it seems to be a pretty uneven matchup again in terms of roster and mods. So what I'm going to do is just going to play around with a few interesting comps on offense, and just do a few tests to see how well the whole thing works. So it's just going to be a fun Grand Arena session this time today. So I might, in fact, even take a battle or two to get through some teams. But that's the goal that we have this for this offense session of Grand Arena. A brief overview of how I'm setting the defenses, and the way that I like to think about for defenses for this Grand Arena is we have four sections with the ship section on top, and the other three sections are character sections. Now, the in terms of points, the section at the back has got the maximum points, 232, and the section in front above the ship section has got only 153 points. So it makes sense for us to keep the toughest teams over here in the front of the section with the maximum points, because the character section, which will be cleared first, will probably be the one which opens up the section with the most banners. The second reason to keep your toughest teams in this section over here is is essentially the fog of war. Basically, when you see your opponent's roster, you don't really know what's there at the back over here or over here. The more knowledge you have, the more better you're going to perform in terms of making decisions. Over here, you know that it's going to be a ship section, so you know that you're going to take in your best ships like Millennium Falcon to clear out whatever's over here. But over here, having the knowledge of what's there behind over here is really helpful, because that can help decide what you can use to take out this team. So that's the second reason for which you need to really go heavy defensive on the bottom section. Just to give a brief overview of how I've set my defenses, my toughest teams are over here in this section. I've got my Darth Revan, HK-47, and Bastilla. I've got my General Grievous team, which can be tricky to take down. And then you've got my Karth, Canderous, and Visa's team. Now, this one is not that tough, but I just kept it over here because I've kept my second toughest teams on top over here. I've kept my GK with Scoundrels, which has performed well for me in the last few Grand Arenas. I've kept my other two Scoundrel teams, which is Kira with YOLO and Nest, and Lando with L3 and Vandor. And then I've kept an Evox team as well. So the second best teams over here, the best teams out here. That should be the strategy. And at the back, I've just kept some fillers, just because Darth Revan should ideally hold the section or end up taking up a lot of good teams and counters. So there's really not many good teams that you can afford to go with lesser teams over here in this section. All right, so that's a brief defensive overview. Let me go ahead and start attacking the opponent. So as I said, I'm going to try some interesting comps on defense, on offense, just to see what works, what doesn't work. Most of these are going to be, from different factions. So I wouldn't recommend using these teams for your offense, just because you might be breaking up the synergy from other factions. But since it's just a trial run, it's just interesting to try this stuff out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to probably attack the bottom section so that I can open up what's there behind. Over here, what I'm going to do with is I'm going to first take out the Chirpa Wicket Logray team, the Evox team with a Daka zombie team with Hermit Yoda. Now, this is a survivability team, and the thing I want to test out over here is uh, putting. I've always been curious about this. Putting Master's Training on Night Sister Zombie and having her die over and over again, just to have Hermit Yoda reapply, take an extra turn and reapply the Master's Training and then call both Zombie and Daka to assist. So it might be something interesting. I'm just going to try it out to see how this works. My Hermit Yoda is double Zeta. You do need the Zeta on his unique, which gives him a bonus turn and resets all his cooldowns when someone with Master's Training dies. So that is needed for this to work. But let's see how this team does on offense. All right, so I get to go first. There's no reviver, but let me start attacking Logray. There's no tank and no reviver and no cleanser as well. So I'm gonna first give my Master's Training to Zombie and then start having her attack. Okay, let me apply Tenacity down over here. And just hope that we have Zombie die a few times so that we can test this theory out. Okay, Tenacity down again. Okay, I'm not going to use the heal because I want Zombie to die. And now we apply Master's Training on Daka as well. So now both have Master's Training. Let's see if we're able to. I'm not going to heal again. Just want Zombie to die. So let's hope these guys attack enough to kill Zombie. So even if so, Zombie has got tremendous amounts of survivability. So as long as you're facing a team which doesn't have AOE's or dispels, this team will do pretty well. It's a slow burn team. I considered going with Jedi Knight Anakin instead of Hermit Yoda as well, but it's more fun with Hermit Yoda. Okay, Tenacity up, but we can apply Tenacity down through Tenacity up. Okay, come, let's hope Zombie dies. So that's another thing. Under Daka, Zombie becomes extremely tanky, a lot of health, so it's very difficult to kill her. You can see that the Ewoks have taken so many turns and they're not able to kill Zombie even once. All right, so maybe I should have gone with a team with more health. That would have with more attack and more damage. That would have probably made Zombie die at least once. But at least this proves that the Daka Zombie combination is extremely tanky. So yeah, so that's always a good team to keep on defense. All right, so that's attempt number one. Let's go and see what else we can do against the other teams. Now, against the Skarth Mission Zalbar team, you typically need a team with high tenacity, high inbuilt tenacity, like a Basti lead or Bosk lead which gives plus 50% tenacity, or you can go with someone who applies tenacity up like Grandmaster Yoda, or in this case, I want to try Rex Wampa. So let's try that out. Now that's not a very threatening team since it doesn't have Zeta on mission and Zalbar, but I wanted to try something different. I want to try a different tank over here. Typically I go with Visas along with Rex Wampa, but I wanted to try a taunting tank with them and someone who can also call assist because my first order stormtrooper is Zetad, and he whenever he uses an ability he can call a random ally to assist. So calling Wampa to assist is always good. It it increases Wampa's chance to inflict debuffs and take a turn. All right, so we start taunting right away. And the other advantage of First Order Stormtrooper is he can dispel. And once Zalbar starts taunting like this, see the basic from First Order Stormtrooper, it ended up dispelling it. So if he has advantage, dispel all buffs from the target. So, and he gets advantage pretty easily, especially when he gets his taunt. So in this case, you can see that Zalbar ended up getting dispelled. So it's always useful to have a dispel with Wampa, with Rex and Wampa. All right, so you see Zalbar is taunting again. And I can finish off mission with this. So now he's got tenacity up. He's got advantage, my First Order Stormtrooper. And look at that. Because he had counter chance and advantage, he ended up dispelling Zalbar when he attacked him. So that worked out pretty well. So that might be an interesting team to try out. First Order Stormtrooper as a tank along with Rex and Wampa. Now for this last team, Bossk, Dengar and Boba. This is a standard bounty hunter team which is kept on defense. And this particular one is double Zeta, the Bossk. So what I wanted to try out for this one is a Darth Nihilus lead. So as you can see, the second Zeta on Bossk, what it does is as long as an enemy has got protection, Bossk regains taunt. So I want to see if we go in with a Darth Nihilus lead, which does not have any protection on any of the characters at all. Does on Darth Nihilus dispelling Bossk, does the taunt come back or not? That's what I want to test out. My guess is no, but I want to see if that works or not. So I'm going to go all Sith, so that none of my characters have any protection at all, and I want to see if this particular mechanic works or not. All right, so we have everyone has got maximum health, no protection. Everything has been converted to health. I'm going to go ahead and land some dots. All right, now I'm not going to do the force drain. I'm going to dispel this guy, and yep, there you go. So Bossk's second taunt, a second Zeta becomes useless under a Nihilus lead. Let me get rid of Boba since he's the greatest danger. Oh, you know what? This may not be the best idea because Dengar applies thermal detonators, which give damage based on the health, percentage health, and that basically means that your Nihilus will die off pretty soon. And yeah, so it's not the best idea. And with Nihilus gone, my main source of damage is gone. So let me see if I can get through this. Maybe I should have used Traya, but then if you're using Traya, it's overkill in any case. See, all those thermal detonators, they end up doing percentage health damage, which is not good versus a Nihilus lead. There. Now in the next turn, Sid is going to go. There you go. So he goes. So I probably won't be able to do any much damage over here since these guys will recover a lot of health. So I'll probably have to go in with another team to figure this one out. All right. Okay, I might go in with an Admiral Akbar Leia team next. Or actually, you know what? Let me come out and see how the team does from scratch, because I want Boba also in there, since I want to try this team out from scratch. So this next team that I'm going to try out is going to be let's see, Admiral Akbar leads C3PO and Leia. Now, expose damage does an amazing job versus Bosk. We have you know, expose, as you know, does 20% percentage health damage. So we're going to end up doing a lot of damage to Bosk and the other bounty hunters. Plus, confuse also helps quite a lot against bounty hunter teams. So let me go with this team and see how effective it is as a counter against bounty hunters. And with Akbar lead, any special move that Leia or C3PO have, they're going to end up giving a lot of they're going to end up giving a lot of turns to enemies. So in this case, for example, I'm going to use a special, and C3PO goes ahead and uses his basic, which is confuse. I'm going to give translation to both. All right. So slowly whittling away at Bosk. Uh, Not a good idea again. So just because, yeah, because Boba special damage, his execute does a lot of damage against weak characters like Leia. So this is again not a good team to take against that. All right, what else do I want to try out? I know that EP is a pretty strong counter against the bounty hunters. Let's see if all right. Let me try another one. I might just use. Okay, this might be another interesting team. So I've been thinking about this team for a while, which is Talzin and then R2D2 and Scarif Rebel Pathfinder. Now, I also wanted to try out Hermit Yoda with Scarif Rebel Pathfinder just because of the number of revives that Scarif Rebel Pathfinder gets. So that could be a good test as well. But in this particular case, what I want to do is I want to keep stealthing with R2 against Scarif Rebel Pathfinder and have Talzin get the plague out and whittle down the team slowly. So that's the goal behind this, because once Talzin gets the plague out and then she uses a basic, her basic acts as an AoE and all targets get damaged with that. So let's go with this team, see how effective it is. All right, so I'm going to hide everyone except for Scarif Rebel Pathfinder. I'm going to stun Bosk so that he doesn't start taunting. Okay. Now let me get the plague out, and stun did not land. Nope. Yep, so this also doesn't work. I think unless Zombie or other Night Sisters are there, this is a pretty weak team to try out. You know, I should have probably tried the Daka Hermit Yoda zombie thing with this team against this team, since this team has got plenty of damage. It's a pretty decent team on defense, which is why I wanted to see if there's any cheap team that I can use to take it out. But looks like I might just have to go with a standard team to defeat it. All right. Let me try another team. Let me actually try the Malik team. I kept my Malik on offense this time, so let's try that out. What I want to do is I want to try this team, which is Bosk, and then Malik and EP. So the goal is Bosk ends up taunting and Malik and EP. Malik is the secondary taunt over here with EP providing shock. That basically keeps a taunt on Malik and Bosk, and that ends up. All right, so that ends up essentially, yeah, keeping EP safe. All right, let's land a few stuns. Stun there as well. All right. So you can see that Dengar has got fear. I'm going to see if I can land fear with other characters. There, I've landed shock, so now Malik is taunting. All right, now I can't heal right now since I've got shock. Damn, lost EP. So Boba does get troublesome in this team. Well, okay, this gives me a chance to see whether Malik on his own can do a decent job. Okay, these guys heal a lot. So I'm going to lose Bosk. Okay, so now is my chance to see how well Malik is able to solo. He'll probably be kept in check with all these stuns and yeah. Yeah, so again, not very effective. So this just proves that this particular team, Bounty Hunters, are extremely extremely good on defense. Boba, Dengar, and Boss, they just have so much synergy and so many things going on that they have a lot of survivability and damage both. So interesting. So tried out 4 different teams. None of them seem to make any dent. None of the experimental teams. Let me just go with my standard JTR team and see if I can take these guys out with that. Oh, probably JTR also might not work since this team is preloaded with turn meter. Let me see what other Sith I have. Maybe I'll just take my Revan in there and finish these guys off. And then we can see what's there at the back. Should I use these or maybe... Yeah, let me just go in with a standard trio. All right. Okay, let's finish off Boba first. and then we can go after Bossk. Okay. So essentially, versus this bounty hunter team, you need something with ability block, which is what prevents Bossk from taunting. That's why teams like EP Vader works well, because Vader can keep applying ability block on these guys and prevent boss from taunting. Anything with fracture works great as well, because boss can be kept under control. Anything with turn meter reduction, like Ray, Jedi training Ray, can work extremely well as well, which is what is the most common counter against these guys. So that's why I probably wouldn't experiment too much against a team like this. I would just go with some of the established counters, which is either Crew, which who basically applies a two-turn stun, or EP Vader, where Vader applies ability block, or JTR, where she reduces turn meter. The other experimental teams that I tried did not end up working, so that was a failure. All right. Now, let me see what I have left to take out these teams at the back. I do have, let me see what the toughest team over here is. They're mostly not that great, with the exception of the zombie Asajj team. So I might take in my, let's see, I might take in my bounty hunters to this one. So who all is there? We have Daka, Asajj, and zombie. All right, so bounty hunters will do fine over here. So we'll take, for extra damage, I want to take Boba, Jango, and let's see, who else can we experiment with? Maybe, I'm not going to end up using my Traya anywhere else. Maybe I can, yep, maybe I can use a, oh, that would be overkill. Maybe I go in with a tank. All right, I'll just go in with a tank with the stun on basic. Okay, let's apply some ability block. Apply some burning. And stun there. And now we can get rid of Asajj. And she's not going to come back. So I don't have the Zeta on Jango, so he is not going to end up, if I kill anyone on his turn, they're going to end up reviving. So I have to just kill with Boba. There we go. Okay. So probably could have done without the tank as well, but it's always better to go in with 3. In a 5v5 setting, there's actually more benefit to going in an undersized party, just because your maximum points is 64, and if you go in with a full team of 5 and finish with max health and protection, you get 60. So there's a 4-point difference. But in this case, if you the maximum points that you can get is 54, going in with 3 people and ending up with full health and protection. But if you take in one character like, say, Nest or Wampa, and you end up, the maximum points that you can get is 56. So even if you end up losing a little bit of protection, you end up getting 55, which is just one more than if you had gone in with, say, a trooper team and ended with full health and full protection. So 1 point is really not that beneficial. If you take the risk benefit of that, there's no point risking your team losing just for 1 additional point. So that's why it's always better to go in with a three-member team in a 3v3 setting. No point going undersized. All right, what else is there? The rest of it is pretty weak. Yeah, maybe the screw team is the next toughest. What can I use against that? Let me go with this GK Ashoka YOLO team first. What can I use? Let me try my first order. And I'm going to use, yeah, let me try the first order without first order Stormtrooper. So just a single tank team. This will allow me to repurpose my first order Stormtrooper somewhere else. Okay, let's land a stun on GK, because otherwise he's going to end up cleansing everyone. Let's keep the taunt on crew. All right. And let's get rid of okay, let's stun this guy. Dispel him. And keep the taunt on crew. Dispel this guy. Okay, Ashoka is taken care of. And now we just need to work on these other two. All right. So I like using my basic whenever I'm using crew. Like whenever his stun is not available, I like using my basic, especially against debuffs and enemies, just because he ends up taunting whenever he uses his basic on a debuffed ally. So that's a good way to, if you want to maintain the taunt on crew and you don't want it to be lost, a good way to do that would be to just use his basic, because his basic gains taunt, and taunt is also a buff, so he ends up healing himself for 5% health and protection. Yeah, only if your health is low, go in for focused rage, because you end up recovering some health at the end of that. Or in this case, like the target is stunned, so you deal double damage. All right, let's see what else we have. We have the crew team, and we can use something interesting for that. Let's see. I'll probably take in my Treya. Okay, let me take in my Treya. I'm gonna try something interesting. What else do I have over here? Maybe I'll take in my Treya with Vader against the Jin team. That might be interesting. So Vader lead is going to end up piling on the dots. Your Treya is going to end up cleansing everyone and giving extra debuffs, extra cleanse to the Sith. Do I have any Sith tanks over here? I don't. I do need a tank. Maybe I Do I have any Empire? Empire tanks. Nope, no Empire tanks. I think I kept all of them on defense. Okay, let me just go in with this team then. Okay, let's put isolate on base, and I don't want to fracture anyone right now. I want to see how many dots I can pile on. Okay. So another way in which Thrawn and Vader have excellent synergy is Vader inflicts ability block, so Thrawn can just go ahead and stun on ability block. Same thing with Traya as well. She inflicts ability block with a special as well. Obi-Wan Kenobi is another character who I like to synergize with Thrawn just because he has AoE ability block, which essentially can means a mass Thrawn stun. I mean, what you can do is apply mass AoE ability block with say someone like Obi or Boba, and then fracture with Thrawn. And then if you have the Zeta on Thrawn's unique, anytime somebody hits Thrawn, he ends up countering back and ends up stunning them since they would have ability block. So that's an interesting, neat little synergy that you can try out sometime. All right, let's just finish it off. Okay. And let's finish it off with a Culling Blade. 80k non-crit. Okay, let's see what else we can try out. Against the Ewoks, so these are low damage Ewoks. So let me see if I can try out something interesting against them. Maybe I try. What Jedi do I have left? Let me clear the section above with my Jedi first. I think I've got my Barriss. And Jedi Knight Anakin, I think, is pretty decent against crew, just because of the buff immunity and healing immunity. I want to try something different, some non-Jedi over here. Who else? Let me just try Resistance Trooper. With buffs, he hits extremely hard. Yep, let's just see how this does. And he's got an extra Dispel as well, so you've got a couple of characters with Dispel. Okay. There's your buff immunity, which is great. So he ended up not taunting, buff and him healing immunity. So that's the reason that this guy went down really fast, crew, because he just wasn't healing at all. All right, so that guy was a bad idea. Probably could have gone with the third Jedi, but but yeah, this is just an experimental match in any case. So here you go, buff immunity, and finished. All right. Now it's just the Ewoks team, and what else do I have over here? Don't think I need to save anything. Yeah, they're all pretty mild teams. Let me attack the Sith Empire team over here with something. Now it's HK lead, which is which just gives bonuses to droid allies. And you've got a lot of debuffs from Basti, and you need a dispel against Sith Trooper as well. Maybe I just go with the, let's see, dispel. Who else can dispel out here? Asajj, Zombie. All right, I don't have Zombie, but I do have my Night Sisters, Asajj, Talia, and Acolyte. Let me see if these guys are able to take it out. Don't have a Reviver, but maybe I should go in with Talia for the healing. And the extra cleanse, because against Darth Basti, you need cleanse. I should probably go in with someone with tenacity up, but I'm curious to see if this team works or not. You've got two dispels over here, both zombie as well as spirit. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to let Bastila Shan fall and take a turn, so I'm going to stun her. And oh, okay. That's weird. So my spirit had corrupted battle meditation, but she still landed speed down. Not sure why that was the case. Oh, corrupted battle meditation is only a decreased critical chance and counter chance. So, oh, maybe the ability is not upgraded. Oh, anyway. Okay, now we need to dispel with Daka, and let's finish this one off. And then we'll work on HK. And then just Sith Trooper. All right. So yeah, as long as the sisters are modded well, these kind of teams are pretty okay to take out, pretty easy. Anything with Mass Dispel. So yeah, any buff-oriented team, sisters can take them out pretty easily. All right, let's finish this off and wrap up the video. I'm just going to go in with some other random teams to take this out. Let's see what other resistance we have. All right. Okay. So we got to try a few different things in this setup, but I don't think we learned anything very interesting. But yeah, I didn't want it to be a simple video of taking down my opponent with whatever I have. I just wanted to try out something different which may have given us some interesting insight. I don't think we found any interesting teams, but hey, at least we got to see something different on offense. I'm confident that my last match, the third match that I have, the finals, that'll be a pretty interesting match. I have in that particular match, my opponent also has a Darth Revan and a Darth Malak team, and that guy has got a full G12 Darth Malak with both the G12 plus pieces, double Zeta'd, everything. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, and my opponent has got extremely good mods as well. I'll show you my opponent after I clear these sections. Let's see, who else do we have who's a leader? Oh, let's just go with this. Yeah, my opponent is his name is Oyster Recall, I think, from I have to check which guild he's from, but I checked his mods roster. Pretty impressive. I think one of the tougher opponents that I've faced so far. So it's going to be an interesting match. I'm going to hopefully I'm going to have time to record that match because the final for that is going to be on Friday, and I'm flying out on Friday. I'm going to be on a plane, so I'll have to record the match really, really early, probably as soon as Grand Arena opens. And that's ideally not the way that I would like to do it, just because you know, ideally you want to wait as much as you can to see if your opponent makes a move first. But I'm not going to have that luxury this time against my opponent, so I'm going to just um, end up recording a match early on. Um, so it's going to be a very interesting match. I think those are the kind of matches that I really look forward to in Grand Arena. It's um, it's going to be let's see. Let me just get through the ship battle, and then I'll go ahead and show you the roster of my opponent. All right, so let's go over and take a look at my opponent's roster for the next one. Now for this one, I've cleared his board. I don't think he's going to get through this section or even this section. So I think we're fine for this one. We should be able to enter the finals. So my opponent in the final is Oyster Perpetuals. Oyster Perpetuals from Sith Happens, and this is his team. And let's check out the speeds on this. So his Revan is 318, faster than my Revan. HK47 is modded decently well for critical damage. A plus 800 offense. His Malak double Zetard, and check out the speed on his Malak. 309 plus 144. So extremely tanky and durable. And then we've got Bastilla Shan Fallen, who's at 306 and with 70% potency. And he's got Zetas on everyone. My Malak is only 6-star, double Zetard, but only 6 stars. And I don't have a Zeta on Basti. So my Sith Empire team is relatively weak. But, and if you see the rest of this guy's roster, he's got really decked out teams. His Bounty Hunter team with Bosk 260, extremely decent Bosk. Good Boba with critical damage set. And then his Empire team is also extremely speedy. Stark is at 280, Thrawn is at 284. Stark is at 270, so pretty well modded and pretty well Zeta'd. Ewoks G11, just like mine. First order, pretty damn good. Except first order officer is not developed, but yeah, Kylo Ren is not that fast. But overall, it's going to be a really decent matchup. Jedi Knight Revan is 261, so Jedi Knight Revan is pretty slow. That's going to be interesting. So yeah, overall, it's going to be an interesting setup. It's got all the Old Republic characters Zeta'd, all the scoundrels Zeta'd as well, and pretty fast. His nest is at 200 and modded for tenacity. There you go, 246 speed with 108% tenacity. So this guy knows what he's doing. He's got all the right mods, all the right characters, at really good speeds as well. So this I can guarantee is going to be a more entertaining finals. So I'm looking forward to this match. Hopefully I'll have time to record it. Hopefully nothing comes in the way and I'll have some time to record this matchup. But I will. Yep. So that's basically looking forward to this one in the next session. So be sure to join me for that session, and hopefully hopefully we have a good match. All right, that's it for this session of Grand Arena. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will talk to you guys later.